Unfortunately, we are at an all-time high of anger in the Pokemon space, and it's probably not going to go away anytime soon. Specifically, the reason why a lot of people are angry right now is because of prismatic evolutions and the scalpers. Now, I just wanted to show a few posts on this subreddit here just to highlight the anger in the space so you guys can really see how bad it is. All these posts are upvoted a lot because anytime you talk about scalpers and how much you hate them, a lot of people like reading about that stuff. So you can see here, this person doing something civil. There's nothing wrong with this. I guess they went to Target and they talked to some worker or whatever, and the worker gave them this number to, I guess, let this customer that's mad about the scalpers, I guess, call them about this scalping problem and tell them to set purchase limits on Pokemon. So people are spending time out of their day to try to fix this problem. Nothing wrong with that. Calling these people, calling Target, if they do decide to do it, that's great. But yeah, nothing wrong with this. I completely understand people wanting to do this. Now, there is this one post where I'm like, okay, like I understand you're mad at scalpers, but hey, I don't know. This is up to you guys. But basically, you can read this whole thing. Instead of being civil and I guess calling Target or whatever, I think that's perfectly fine. This person, I guess they noticed a scalper, they recognized them, and basically they pretended to have a phone call, talking to their friend, telling them, oh, there's some Pokemon like here at Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever, and I guess they pretend to have that phone call, and that scalper like heard them, and then they I guess ran out the door to probably go to that store. I mean, you can mess with them and stuff, but I mean, at that point, you're just being evil just to be evil. But hey, do what you want to do. But I mean, I wouldn't say this is any better than being a scalper if you ask me. Wasting someone's time doing this just to have a laugh. Like, I know people that don't like scalpers. I understand it. But are we seriously getting to this point where people literally want to do, like, you're not any better doing this. Like, at this point, this is where I say you're fighting fire with fire. You're not doing the right thing. They're not doing the right thing. Like, this is not how it works out. In my opinion, the first thing I showed you, calling the customer service or whatever that was, that's civil, right? But doing this, for what reasoning? Like, what do you get out of this? It's like, I don't agree with this. I think you're just as bad as the scalper having this mindset, but I understand you're fed up, but hey, it is what it is. I don't really think this is the right way to do it. I don't think this is very mature, but hey, whatever. But I just want to show you guys the anger in the space before I talk about this. But I want to talk about prismatic evolutions because that's where the source of this anger is coming from. Nobody's really angry about surging sparks or any of the previous sets. Nobody's mad about 151 prices, Paldean Fates prices. It's just prismatic, and this kind of gets to the point where I want to make in this video. So like I said, everybody right now is still mad about prismatic and all the scalpers, right? I feel like, this anger is going to subside here in a little bit. And the reason for that is I've noticed people's, attention spans in the space are very short. And, with surging sparks, people were angry about the prices and the scalpers with surging sparks. But we're only 2 months, like I guess past the set release. And you don't see any anger with surging sparks. It's shifted from surging sparks to prismatic evolutions. Now, in my opinion, I think prismatic evolutions, even in a few months from now, yeah, there will still probably be some people complaining about availability and whatever. But other than that, I feel like when Journey Together comes out, right? I feel like people are going to shift their anger from prismatic evolutions to Journey Together because people in the space, they just want to get mad at the current stuff, the newest stuff that's expensive, and it shouldn't be this expensive at the gate. I believe Journey Together will probably be pretty expensive out the gate. I mean, already, Journey Together is pre-selling for way more than Surging Sparks did, and people were mad at Surging Sparks. So, I mean, it is possible maybe when Journey Together comes out, people will get mad at Prismatic Evolutions and also Journey Together for being too expensive. That's definitely possible, but I do feel like this all-time anger right now for Prismatic will shift onto Journey Together because people will want to open that setup too, and people will get mad that it's expensive. It's a cycle that it looks like it's going to keep continuing because after Journey Together, it's going to be Team Rocket. The cycle is going to continue. People are going to get mad at the current thing. People are going to get mad at the next thing, and then the next thing. It doesn't stop. This whole anger, it's crazy, and in my opinion, I feel like people just need to calm down a little bit because it's really not that serious. But you can see, like I showed you in the beginning of this video, people are taking their, taking matters into their own hands. You know what? Honestly, go ahead and do it because, maybe it is good for the space. I am an evil, investor scalper, but do what you want to do. If it works out, cool. But it is kind of funny that people are getting to the point of spending their own time to try to do all of these things to get rid of scalpers. I don't think it's going to really solve much. I think people will find ways to get around it. Even in stores, like, I don't know. I feel like going to that extent, like, it's not worth people's time, but for some people, I guess them having some sort of input makes them feel better. But yeah, I just feel like this anger, it's going to keep continuing with every single set. Right now, Prismatic is the hot thing. But when we go into the future, there will be more things that people are going to get mad at. And honestly, I feel like people will adjust to these prices with Prismatic. The same thing with, surging sparks that people now, you don't see anybody getting mad at surging sparks. Why? Because it's not the newest, hottest thing. It's a couple months old. I know that I'm saying that like it's a lot, but people in this space have short attention spans. So when Journey Together comes out, I believe, Prismatic Evolutions, it'll still be popular, don't get me wrong, but there's not going to be as much anger for this stuff. And right now we're seeing the prices at $120 in Elite Trainer box. And when Journey Together comes out, I believe these boxes will probably at least be 150 plus. But even at those higher prices, I think that there's not going to be this much anger with Prismatic as there is now, because this is just the newest, hottest thing. And like I said, people gravitate towards the newest, hottest thing in the space. So all these prices you see here with all these products, I think they'll continue to go up as time goes on. People will get used to these prices, and when the new set comes out, people will stop complaining about all these prices because it won't be the newest and hottest thing. And you can see here, no Journey Together, it's already $200. If you guys were here for Surging Sparks, it peaked at MSRP on pre-order, and then it dropped to 150 on release. Journey Together is already selling for $200. So, yeah, if you think that the anger is going to stop anytime soon, it's not, because guys, this is over MSRP, which sounds crazy because a booster box MSRP right now is 161. So the fact that this is $200, guys, that's $40 over MSRP. People are going to get mad because a lot of stores are probably going to sell probably closer to market price, not MSRP. We will have to see though. Who knows where the set's going to go? It's definitely a little bit probably of a different situation than Prismatic, because Prismatic Evolutions is a specialty set, doesn't have booster boxes. This is a main set, it does have booster boxes. So maybe then there'll be more product availability. I'm not sure, but if this sells, if this goes pretty high, because it's already pretty high as it is at $200, there's going to be anger towards this set, and just, man, it's going to continue. And, it's, I don't know, it's so strange to me, I guess, how much anger there can be with Pokemon. Like, it's kind of surprising. Like, I understand it, all the scalping stuff, it's a bad look, right? All these adults fighting over cards. I told you guys before, yeah, I am an evil person, whatever you want to call me, but I am not fighting over Pokemon cards. I'm not fighting over shiny cardboard in public. Like, I actually have some sort of, I guess, I'm not shameless enough to, like, just do that in public. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it is kind of crazy to see where we're at. People fighting over cards, people online expressing their anger towards Pokemon. If you really want to get angry and actually do something, keep emailing Pokemon. They said they're going to ramp up their printers with Prismatic Evolutions. I'm guessing you're going to have to tell them the same thing with Journey Together, with Team Rocket, and all these other sets coming up. This anger is a never-ending cycle. Like, it seriously is just, it looks like it's going to keep continuing. And it's going to get to a certain point where I think some people like that were threatening to leave this hobby might actually just leave, because people just focus on negativity too much in this space. If you ignore all the anger, which is honestly pretty hard to in this space, you'll have a much better time, because right now the hot thing to do and what's really popular is to complain online and say and talk about all the hate you have with scalpers, because that's what everybody's doing. There's just, I don't know, it's weird, because it seems like the wholesome collectors and stuff are just as evil, as the scalpers in terms of just how they do things. I mean, I've just showed you here, people getting to the extent of trying to trick people, waste people's time, and mess with people. It's like, people doing this all for Pokemon, is it really worth it at the end of the day? Like, when you take a step back and look at what you're doing, what you're spending your time with, is it really worth it? Like, let the scalpers do whatever they want, and like you said, just don't buy from them, whatever. And that's the way I would go about it. But spending your own time doing all these sorts of things, if it makes you feel better, then sure. But a lot of these people, man, I'm telling you, going online complaining, you're wasting your time in your life. Like, it's really not that worth it. But hey, I'm an evil scalper. I'm the last one that should be talking. But it's crazy to me that people go to this extent to do certain things. And little do they know, the problem is going to continue. So, yeah, that's all I want to talk about today. Just the anger in the space and it's just going to continue. Everybody just buckle up because when, Journey Together comes out, it's going to be the same thing. When Team Rocket comes out, it's going to be the same thing. Never ending cycle. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.